Hello viewers, or viewer, or anyway. So last week Nintendo unveiled the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection that's going to be coming to the Switch in a couple weeks or days now. So apparently it's going to be a limited release for about 6 months. A lot of people were pretty upset about this, myself included. However, I kind of thought about it a little bit. I've seen a few articles talk about it, and they've mentioned that Nintendo's going to be doing the Disney approach to their re-releases. Now, I found this to be pretty interesting because that's kind of the truth. And that's not a bad thing, as Nintendo doesn't really re-release their stuff. Now, the Disney approach is kind of bad because it's only a limited time, and then once it's gone for a couple of years. But I'm a strong believer that this actually could be a good thing if Nintendo follows through with more re-releases. Now look at it like this. A lot of people are saying that we should be getting a Zelda collection next year. I find it very hard to believe, and I honestly can't believe people are saying that it's reasonable to expect Nintendo to do this. That's just not how Nintendo works, but of course I would say the same thing for a 3D All-Stars collection, yet here we are. With that said, a lot of people do believe that Nintendo will release a similar Zelda collection next year, most likely with Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword. Obviously this would be really amazing, however, I'm not going to be holding my breath on that because I don't want to die. If something like that does happen, I'll be super surprised and extremely excited, but that's what I want to talk about. Imagine in February Nintendo announces a similar Zelda collection that will be available for 6 months, and then in March, when the Mario 3D All-Stars collection goes away, they can announce a new collection of some type. Perhaps maybe a Pikmin 1 and 2 in HD, or maybe a Chibi Robo collection with the original GameCube and both the DS versions. This is something they could do with a lot of their retro franchises like F-Zero. We could have a collection of F-Zero X, GX, and then the one on the Game Boy Advance, and so on and so on. There's tons of franchises that Nintendo has that they could re-release in this method. They seem pretty comfortable using the Nintendo Switch Online for re-releasing games on the NES and Super Nintendo. So if this is how they want to re-release N64, GameCube, and Wii games, I would be happy with it. I mean, go ahead and throw in Game Boy Advance and DS games, and we could really have something here. Especially for physical releases. Nintendo, all the way back with the Virtual Console, has never re-released these games physically. I think the only one they ever did was Super Mario All-Stars on the Wii. So if this became a very normal thing for Nintendo to do, every few years be re-releasing these games, I won't be complaining. I know people will still be mad about the release schedule and not having availability, but if a new Switch console comes out and they announce a bunch of collections for it for a limited time, there you go. You can get all these old games on your console in a physical form pretty early on and be able to play these games. I think this is a really big thing for brand recognition. Look at Pikmin 3. Some people may be turned off by that number. Obviously it doesn't really matter, but some people just see it and they immediately say, well, I haven't played 1 and 2, so no thanks. Especially if a Pikmin 4 comes out. People want to play 1 and 2 to play 3 and then 4. This is the case with a lot of Nintendo games. Now most of us know that it does not matter, but using these old games in collections such as this could gain new fans relatively easily before these new games release. There's just so many I could think of. Imagine a Smash Brothers one that has 64, Melee, and Brawl on it. Or one with all the Mario parties. Maybe not that one. But the Metroid Prime trilogy, this is one that's been rumored for a while. This needs to come over. And you know people won't be complaining about paying $60 for that one. Well, they probably will, but whatever. In the end, this is a strange business scheme to some people, but it makes a lot of sense. Yes, it does keep the value of the games high, and the availability seems pretty bad towards consumers, but for us Nintendo fans who have very limited access to these games, unless you own the original hardware and the games, you don't ever get a chance to play these games. Imagine the Switch is the only console you own. How many GameCube games can you play on that? Exactly. So over the next 3 years, if Nintendo releases multiple collections with GameCube, Wii, and N64 games, would you be complaining? I don't know about you, but I wouldn't. Now, to come back to reality, I don't think this is going to happen. I really think this is a one-off thing with the Mario 3D All-Stars. I could see it happen with Zelda next year, being its 35th anniversary, but beyond that, everything I've talked about, you might as well just forget it, because this is Nintendo we're talking about. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about this game theory down in the comments. Thank you for watching. I want to remind everyone to like this video, comment down below so you can be entered into our 50 subscriber giveaway. If you want more information on that, click the card above. But anyway, guys, thank you again for watching, and you have a great day.